Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the National Guard Products number 953 Mill Finish Ramp Assembly Component. This is a component used in the creation, I suppose, of a ramp assembly. The 953 specifically allows us to transition from a ½ inch height to a 3/4 inch height. So what that would mean is you would use the leading edge of, most likely, you would use the leading edge of the R50, which would go from half to 0 over 6 inch. Add the 953, which will bring you to 9 inch, and do so in a code compliant rise over run formula, which states you cannot exceed 1 inch in rise in less than 12 inch of run. It also states that if you have a 1/4 inch or taller sort of transition, you must ramp that or bevel that in a 1:2 relationship, with a maximum overall height of a threshold being ½ inch, according to ADA. You need to be able to install obstacles on the floor in a code compliant way. The ADA guideline is the ICC ANSI A117.1 Accessibility and Usability Guide for Buildings and Facilities. And there is actually a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can get to the accessibility guide that's placed there, and you can dive deep into the world of thresholds and ramps and changes in elevations as it retains to federally mandated, not suggested, law construction for a floor area. There is a link below this video, and this is, by the way, just a 6-inch sample piece. There's a link below this video to a document called Product Catalog, and that's handy because it will show you, and I'm looking at it here, it'll show you not only all of the components that are available for the National Guard ramp system that will allow you to transition out to a 2½ inch overall height, which, if my math is correct, will get you to 30 inch wide on a threshold. Yes, that'll get you to 30 inch wide. You can also then go to 36 inch wide if you wanted to add the rear component of the 957 sort of ramp. So you can literally go from 6 inch all the way to 36 inch in a code compliant way. You can do that in a mill finish. You can do it in a DKB, a dark bronze anodized finish. You can do it in the SIA finish from National Guard, and literally SIA stands for Slick It Ain't. That's what it means. It is a heavy, coarse surface application done to the material that renders it incredibly resistant to slippage, okay, which could be very appropriate if you've got a long ramp. You don't want someone in a wheelchair to be able to get halfway up that ramp and really start to lose traction. So an SIA might be what is required for the application. Looking at the balance of the product brochure, you can see the pages, how they put them all together, although it's a little disjointed, page, 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 so to speak. You'll see the subcomponents, the individual components, I should say. You'll also see a couple of aluminum ramps. There is a standalone ramp that will permit you to go from 0 to ½ inch over a 4-inch span. And I don't see how that's compliant because they're doing it in less than a 6-inch width. They do indicate it as handicap compliant. Oh, I know why. The reason. Oh, I know why. The reason is because it's not more than a ½ inch tall. That is the reason. That would be compliant, and it does meet the required slope of 1 to 2. So that would be compliant. There's some ramps that are there that are made of a rubberized material, an incredibly durable black colored rubberized material is there. Okay, that can be done as well. Now, as you study these ramps, you might see the page where they show returned closed ends for ramps, the wings, so to speak. Now, imagine in your mind's eye if you had an 18-inch deep ramp, well, the end is going to be completely exposed unless you had some way to mitigate that problem. Maybe you were pouring concrete and you were going to fit the ramp in. Maybe you had some other, floor condition that would close that off. Maybe you were going to literally close it off yourself somehow. Or you can just have the factory manufacture the ramps for you. The downside of them making the upside is that it's going to look completely clean and professional and work perfectly. The downside is that they're awfully expensive. This is aluminum. Aluminum is costly, regardless, and you have a lot of aluminum even when you do a small ramp. But the wings are more than aluminum. What they are is labor. Lots of time to make that material. It's fabricated by hand, and with that, of course, there is a cost. I would, of course, recommend ramps if your flooring condition, wings with your ramps, or closed ends if your flooring condition permitted it, because it will give the impression that it's a professional, clean installation. Okay, you can order this material really in any length that you want. This, again, is a 6-inch sample piece. If you have need for a custom length, just order the next longest piece and indicate in the comment field the length you'd like for us to cut it back to, and that's what we'll do. We'll send it out at that length. Listed in the site, and probably certainly between 2-foot and 8-foot lengths. You might need something longer. That's no problem. We just don't list that material because the cost to ship it is generally quite prohibitive when you have a small quantity, because it can't go package service anymore. But reach out to us. We'll be happy to quote that. If you need 14-foot lengths and you're doing, 24-inch deep ramp for whatever the case is, the freight, and you're doing closed ends, the freight doesn't seem so bad in terms of the overall cost. But be mindful, longer lengths do cost more to ship because they can't go package service. Finally, there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the National Guard products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. If you have any questions on the National Guard, number 953, 1/2 to 3/4 inch ramp component, or any other National Guard product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.